We are in fact live. Hello and welcome. We're back. It's a whole brand new season of the AEL High School League. We have been doing production stuff for the last however long. Sorry for the delay, but you know, we've been working on it. We're making sure to get our stuff good, proper, and ready. Formal is of course my co-caster. Are you ready for this? Are you excited for a new season?
Yeah, I'm super excited, maybe mildly annoyed, because when I buy a cable that says charge and play, I'm expecting the play to mean that, hey, the controller will work, but not just charge, but that's neither here nor there. Of course I'm excited for this season. It's the largest one yet, and I can't help but take a step back and reminisce to 1 year ago when AEL first started doing these high school Rocket League events and only 3 teams signed up for the first term. Well, this time, a little bit bigger than that, 24 teams, 4 different groups. It's going to be, I'm sorry, did I say 24? 32 teams in 4 different groups. That's right, even more than I initially thought. It's going to be a massive season.
That's awesome. That's actually a really large number of people, especially, you know, when you think about the fact that Rocket League isn't that big esport, which everyone knows about and everyone talks about. It should be, but, you know, we're still getting there. That's a fantastic turn, and hopefully everyone enjoys, everyone has a good time, as well as putting their best wheel forward, so to speak. But I believe we've got some sponsors to thank before we get into those matches.
Yeah, exactly. We have a fair few, and of course, I think that's my mom giving me a phone call right now, if you can hear that in the background. Probably so proud to see me on the screen, but yes, several sponsors that would like to cover right now. The first, of course, being Acer/Predator Gaming. They're going to be our presenting partner for this event. Now, they're going to be providing all of your gaming and education PC needs, powering up the high school league. So a big thank you to Acer Predator, as well as to moneymanage.gov.au. Now, this is our federal government and education partner, and this is a big one because you can go to that website and you can learn all about how best to manage your money and your financial capabilities when moving forward in life, because I know a lot of these high schoolers are going to be adults soon. Sometimes this stuff, you know, is kind of hard to learn, kind of hard to figure out for yourself. I know I still struggle a little bit, so a big thank you to them. Furthermore, a big thank you to our ViewSonic, our education partner for this event. You can upgrade your classroom today with ViewSonic's larger format interactive displays and view the the MyViewBoard software suite is something that you can check out. So a big thank you to ViewSonic as well. Also, AOC Monitor, the gaming monitor partner. I mean, returning once again, AOC monitors. They can use that pixel perfect experience, get that best gaming experience with their latest range of gaming monitors. They've been a constant supporter, constant sponsor, and their monitors are pretty dang good. And last, of course, but definitely not least, our gaming headset partner, Rig Gaming. Now, unfortunately, I'm not wearing one right now. I do have to apologize for that. This one's kind of more of a broadcast one, but that's because I'm not a gamer. I'm too old. If you want that best experience when it comes to great gaming, and you want that great sound to come through so you can hear those footsteps sneaking up on you, I'm not going to get it in this. No, I'm going to need one of those Rig Gaming headsets right now. They have a wide variety to kind of suit your needs, so please go out there and check them out.
Absolutely. All of those sponsors are fantastic, incredible. Got a chance to play on a Predator gaming system over the week, actually, and it was very nice, I will have to say.
My laptop's still a Predator one. Like, I still have that as well. So, like, occasionally when the green screen drops, you can see it kind of sitting on a little stand behind me. But yeah, no, they're good laptops.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, yeah, I believe we're moving on pretty well to our first game, of course. This is going to be a bit of a, quite a season. It's not just going to be a 1 week affair. I believe we have 4 weeks and finals scheduled, if I'm not mistaken. But do you want to intro us a little bit into our first game? I'm sure the players are very keen to get into the match. But yeah, so what's our first match?
Our first match, it is going to be none other than GSLC Gold taking on SJC Gray. And if you're curious what those acronyms mean, GSLC, it's a long one. That's the Good Shepherd Lutheran College taking on St. Joseph's College Gray. Now, it's hard for us because it's not like there's a lot known about a lot of these players, you know, in terms of doing the research, getting up to them. We might see a few familiar faces as we go along, but you know, some old names may have graduated at this stage. A lot of new names this time around. So when it comes into the first day, game 1 on stream, I don't expect too much. I expect a lot of a feeling out process. I expect these players to kind of try and get used to the new season, the new format. Either way, we are about to get going. Players are jumping onto the pitch for GSLC Gold. It's going to be, yes?
We do have to have a quick word from our sponsor, but we'll be straight into the game after that, and then we'll introduce the players. How about that?
At Acer, we're focused on bringing our expertise in esports to schools across the country. Hi, I'm Rob Corkill, Marketing Communications Manager at Acer Australia. We are very excited to welcome you to our 2022 Acer High Schools Cup. Remember, teamwork and communications is the key to winning. So if you're ready to bring home the Acer High School Cup trophies, be prepared to work with your team and make sure you're the ultimate team player. Good luck and have fun.
The gates right now should be worth noting. This is a best of 5, not a best of 3. So for the likes of Bazo, Zon, and KZ on that gold side, well, I think they're settling in quite nicely. A third goal, and we're not even 1 minute in.
Would you be mad, Formal, if I told you that I didn't have our mics plugged in for this scene? Would that be something you'd be a little upset about?
Are you? I mean,
that's fine. We're good now. We're good now. We're live. But you're in a good mood.
I'm in a good mood. Okay, you can't bring me down today. We're back. It's been like 2.5 months. I'm watching Rocket League again on AEL. You can have me muted the entire stream. I'm still going to be sitting here watching, kind of yelling along as we see another shot coming from this GSLC side. But yeah, GSLC, Zon, Bazo, KZ. This squad, they look so composed for an opening day. I think the 4 goals that they've already scored are a testament of that. And we haven't even seen SJC on the attacking half of the pitch yet.
Yeah, and that's like, I mean, sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes you see a team, no matter how good they are, kind of get put on the back foot by an opponents who come out just swinging a little bit harder. But I agree with you. This team, this blue side, is just looking so strong in their aggression. I mean, a chance for their opponents to kind of have a bit of an answer back here, but, you know, right at the moment, it really is just their dominance and their control on the ball.
So, one of the things that I think we need to take notice of for events like this as well, because it's exciting to be back to that high school level. 32 teams is a lot more teams than we've normally seen, but it also is going to mean a larger skill discrepancy. And there is a seeding process that does happen when kind of determining these groups. So, and because it's a round robin sort of phase in that group, there are going to be some mismatches that we get sometimes in terms of experience, where one team will come in a little bit more experienced than other teams. Now, obviously, as the tournament progresses, we expect some of these other teams to improve their play and get stronger as we go. I feel like in this opening game, however, SJC might not be as experienced as GSLC Gold. GSLC Gold is a very composed, very skilled team. We can kind of see that right here. They just know how to rotate offensively. They know how to control the tempo. They know how to control the pace. And even though SJC might be struggling in our opening game, I don't think this is going to be a reoccurring trend for this squad. I expect every team to sort of practice and improve as we move along. It's just a bit unfortunate that they drew a hard matchup first.
Yeah, and you never know when you're at this sort of level of play, in any game or even sport in general. You never really know what the level of skill your opponent's going to be at. Like, you win however many, you probably win an average of about 50% of your ranked games. You might be better than your mates when you play on, just when you play with them casually. But you have no concept of if you're going to come in and just stomp the series, or if you're going to get your, going to get your stuff handed to you by the opponents, by like sort of the sheer skill level in the game. So, you're right. Exactly what you were saying is 100% right. A good opportunity as well.
All right, so we're not getting a shutout, and that makes me happy. Dark Novik is able to get one right here, and I loved this flick, actually, from Dark Novik. Just got a bit more power behind it than I think Zon was expecting. Now, in the past, I would be a little bit critical of the defense. They didn't press forward. They didn't challenge. However, let's talk about the good things on that play, because SJC, not only did they get that night flick from Dark Novik, Control was in that front line looking for the bump play and actually looking to be a bit proactive, and that's not something we've seen from this orange side yet. So SJC, small signs of life, the building blocks of what they can build on in the future.
Yeah, and like that's exactly kind of what you want. You want those building blocks. You want to have areas to improve, because if you just get beaten down in every single aspect of the play, you're like, well, what do we work on, guys? You know, but I like that. I like the fact that there was that possibility for the passing player for the two angles. I always love that. Bit of a sucker for a quick pass on goal. It's a classic, right? It's a sports classic. But yeah, like hopefully there's a chance for them to kind of take that knowledge and run with it and improve on it and be like, we did that thing well, much like Bazo.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to be the first one to kind of say this, and I actually do not fault the side at all for doing this. GSLC, after the first couple minutes, they've been playing a lot more passively. They've been keeping two defenders back. The attacker hasn't been full rushing to the ball. They've kind of been giving a bit of space, and I think it's a little bit of a mercy type situation where they're letting their opponents, you know, get a chance to play a little bit more in this game. However, if you hold the ball up on a tee like that, I don't care who you are, who you're playing against, you're taking that shot, as Bazo did, to make it 6-1.
Yeah, that's a fair call. That's a very, very fair call. And like, clear. Look, I'm gonna say it. Clears are hard. You know, it's easy just to touch the ball and be like, it's not on the goal yet. But it's like that next step to be like, I actually gotta get it out of the attack or out of the defense in this situation. You know, which comes with skill, comes with experience. You know, you get there eventually. But yeah, you're certainly right in terms of that was a bit of a simple one. But that said, there might be a counter-attacking opportunity as the double commit comes out in the corner.
I think GSLC looks pretty in control. Even when they double commit, they still have the third defender back. And so, like, at the end of the day, they're going to be able to actually set themselves up quite nicely right now. Zon does have KZ across the middle. Ooh, swing and a miss on that pass attempt right there. They definitely went for it. Zon actually going for the bump, but with the more passive defensive play coming from this blue side, they take a little while to get to the ball. That was giving time for the SJC defense to look for that clear, but they said one member forward who actually misses it, and that will keep them on that back foot. 40 seconds remaining, Fetch. It's still looking like a pretty one-sided affair.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, you know, ooh, that was a nice little touch by Dark Novik. That was just nice. I mean, like, yeah, having the flick back from Nork, everything just put in place. You said, okay, you told me, you lied to me, Formal. GSLC playing defensive, putting lots of players back, just making sure they guarantee themselves a win and don't do anything risky. But I only saw one player in defense. I saw a 2v1 there. I don't know what you're talking about here, buddy.
Yeah, so they changed it up a little bit towards the latter end of that game, I will admit. For the most part, they've been playing that more passive style. But no, it's an interesting game so far in that regards, where, like, I think the thing I was trying to highlight a bit more with that is just the amount of space that GSLC has been giving to SJC, where they're not really contesting, they're not really challenging like they did in the first 2 minutes. And, well, that was a beautiful dribble from KZ right there. It's going to be a 7-2 scoreline now as we get to watch this one again. Dark Novak, who had a couple nice breakaway shots at their own this time, can't make the save when on the other end. I don't know if this is going to be our final score, but I do know going into Game 2, GSLC should be our favorites.
Oh, yeah, at this point, I think that's a fairly safe assertion. Possibility for another goal in, like, the next second or whatnot, but, yeah, I mean, even then it wouldn't make much of a difference to the overall result of the game or really our expectations. And there it is, GSLC taking that first game for themselves. Yeah, no, like, exactly. Oh, actually, you know what's exciting? To sort of derail my own point there, we have these lovely new score pips, which were, like, handcrafted, and they look really, really beautiful. They've got, like, an effect, you know. We've always, us broadcasters, we're really bad at keeping up with scores and things like that. So having a custom made one, love it.
Oh, I wish you weren't speaking the truth with that. I really, really do. Look, you get excited, right? You get drawn in, and I don't know. At least when I'm on that broadcasting side, I frequently forget to hit it just because I'm too enamored with what's happening in the series right now as we do continue. Now, I went over the lineup for GSLC in game number 1 real quick. Game number 2, Norco, Controlled, and Dark Novik are the side of SJC. And after what we saw from the first game, I have to admit, Dark Novik, pretty dangerous when left on his own and is able to press. So keep your eyes on Dark Novik. If we're going to see the comeback, if we're going to see the upset from SJC, I feel like that player is going to be the catalyst to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. And having that avenue of a player who's able to step up like that can lift a team dramatically. But a lot of work to do to kind of come back from that 7-0. That was a bad curse. That was rough. Wait, was it Novik who dropped that one? Or was it someone else? Oh, okay, it was controlled. Never mind. I thought you did it to him.
No, I'm not. Don't worry, I'll call myself out as soon as the caster curses happen. But that's just Controlled, unfortunately, making a misread in front of the net. And against a team like GSLC, you really cannot afford to do that. So that will be the first goal. Here comes the second. Zon puts it off the post, got the second touch, but couldn't quite force it in. Dark Novak makes the diving save in front of KZ. Very fortunate for SJC, they don't allow the goal.
Yeah, there we are. First crossbar save of the season. You know, it's good. We're getting back into all these trends and habits we used to love from the last season. That was a big...
Let's not start the own goal counter.
I was avoiding that one. I like the crossbar being like one of the main characters of our streams. We don't need the own goals. That's fine. We don't need that. I actually loved how there was just a little, like, a good testament to your point about how well at the moment our GSLC side are using space, because there was that big pinch 50 which happened straight in the middle of the field. Both teams went up for a decent attempt. You know, you got to try and go for those areas if you ever want to hit them. And it was, you know, it was our blue side who managed to come out on top of it. So, like, yeah, I like seeing that your point kind of coming to fruition right at the moment. Bit of an opportunity for a breakaway. Didn't quite come to too much. Snorker couldn't get enough space in the ball for themselves.
As we do see, Dark Novak's going to just dip one down into the box. KZ's going to try to look for a pass across the middle. Shot from Zon. Far too accurate for the SJC defense to handle. This is a very mature play, very EU RLCS-esque when you get these passes straight across that middle of the field. Fantastic stuff coming from GSLC.
Ooh, I'm a sucker for European esports. Not as good as OS, but, you know, you got to have a second favorite region, of course. So, yeah, that's pretty high praise at the moment. Only scores only kept 2-0. We're pretty early in the piece right at the moment. Still those opportunities, which were found in the last game to kind of come back and get those scores, but that was just a bit too neat and a bit too much of a zigzag defense. I don't know. I can't think of what to call that.
I call that two defenders bumping into each other in the corner of the field.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay. I missed that part.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it happens sometimes. Yeah. And again, those are the kinks we expect to iron out as this league progresses, as these teams learn to play with each other, as their communication starts to build. And I'm going to go on a little tangent right here because I kind of always have to at the start of a high school season and just re-emphasize the importance of events like this in regards to the high school sphere, because so often people kind of question, you know, almost the validity of high school esports and like, why is it important? Why do students need an outlet like this? And it's for a lot of the same reasons that you see in traditional sports. You build that team building, that communication. It's another extracurricular activity that requires training, practice, patience, learning time management, learning how to balance between school life and your casual fun life. All of these skills, all of these life sets that you can apply to traditional sports, you can apply to esports as well. And that's just a part of the journey that all of these students are going on. And it is a journey. And realistically, we're seeing SJC and, you know, GSLC at the start of those journeys. They're each going to grow from here. One team might seem like, you know, they're going to have a little bit more dramatic growth, I think, than the other, but it's going to be in different ways. So always exciting to see that start of that journey, and those little mistakes that you get at the start, it's going to be fun to see less and less of them as we go.
Yes, absolutely. And also seeing how these teams sort of rank up against the other teams who are here, because like you said, so many people signing up for this event, and you know, that means that we've got a lot more talent to see. There could be some incredible talent left that we haven't like kind of had the opportunity to take note of just yet. And it's hard to say exactly how either of these teams are going to shape up. But yeah, like to your point about communication, think about the fact that we've only had 3 minutes of gameplay and how many individual small things have happened in those 3 minutes. Yeah, I thought it as well. I thought it was going to be there. Not quite this time.
Look, sometimes the meme can be left away. We don't need to embrace every single one. That was nearly our first own goal of the season. Instead, we're going to get our first breakaway goal of the season. What a clean double touch from Bazo. I believe that's their second of the series. 6-0 lead.
A cross-field double touch. I genuinely wasn't even sure if that was exactly what had happened. But yeah, straight from the other side of the field, out of defense, big clear, hits the double touch. Very nice little play. And again, like, potential. So we kind of talk about the potential of our orange side here and how they've got a lot of small, like, very obvious, immediate things that they can improve on, like, you know, small communication things, mechanical things, understanding how the flow of the game works. So many of those points. But, like, even in terms of the blue team, if that's the sort of stuff they're doing as it stands right now, given a season of preparation, of practice and work, we could see them doing even better things like that.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see what happens when we watch this GSLC squad go up against some of the other big names of this event. Obviously, you know, they are going to be poised as one of the favorites. Any team with a GC on it, you have to be careful of moving forward because they're going to be threatening. And I believe there are 2 GCs on GSLC. I'm looking at Bazo as well as Zon as kind of like the 2. Not too sure on KZ, but they're definitely super competent in their own right. This is a team that's going to be expected to make a deep run, perform well in their group. We could be seeing a lot of them in the future. And right now, yes, it looks like they're kind of running away with things. Again, it goes back to the very nature of the group stages of this event. We're going to see teams of all sorts of skill levels at this stage. Sometimes you might get a more one-sided matchup, but it's why that growth has to be important for everybody. It's why GSLC can't go into this first matchup and think, oh, the entire tournament is going to be like this. If that's the case, they're going to have some rough surprises in the future. However, they've been in this event before, right? We've seen them pop up in the past. They know the long journey ahead of them, so I have confidence that this team is going to stay consistent throughout.
Yeah, and that'd be exciting to see. And again, like, you know, space to move. And even if we look at them as being 2 grand champs and I don't know, you know, wherever else, whatever else rank KZ is, playing with 2 players as high rank as that is a big deal. You know, even if you aren't at that level to begin with, the amount you can learn, the amount of progress you can make is incredible. So definitely keeping an eye on them. That touch might not have been what they wanted though.
Oh, it's more that lack of touch, I want to say. Zon just completely whiffs this, and in a terrible spot. The ball can't fall any more center in front of the net. Narco going to be there to put that one in. And I do want to clarify something. I don't know for sure the players' rank. I am just guessing them based on what I've seen so far in this. Like, Bazo has been playing like a GC. He might not be. Might still be in champ. I don't know. But they're playing like a GC, and if they, well, okay, you know what? And now they're back down to champ.
Still, look, I count that as impressive. You know, if one of my friends said that, I'd be like, hey, you're doing well for yourself. But there it is. Second game picked up by them. Yeah, this team looking solid. I don't know how many other ways we can say it, but again, like you say, even just having 2 players who are at that very, very strong level, that's kind of the thing. You know, that's like, even having 1 player at that level helps lift the rest of the team, and that's kind of the kind of the point we're getting at more than anything, I think.
Absolutely, and not only that, but I know this is going to be a rough showing for SJC, and when you have your first match of the season going this way, sometimes it could be a rough on that team's mental, and we know the mental game, especially the later into the season that we get, it starts to become a real thing for some of these players. And again, stress management, another skill that you do kind of need to pick up and learn as you play through in this league. But you need to remember, and you have to take these sort of matchups as that learning experience. Watch what your opponents are doing. Go back, save the replays, study them, and you can learn so much more in the games that you lose than the games that you win. And honestly, watching the SJC side, as awkward as it's been, I think a lot of their positioning has been fine relatively. I would like them to be a little bit more aggressive on some of these defensive challenges, but it's hard when your opponents have been outpacing you so much and now even getting a bit physical. However, there is still a lot to learn from this team. There are a lot where they can improve, and again, once that consistency gets there as well with some of their challenges and some of their touches, I feel like their foundation in terms of positioning is already pretty decent.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, and like, again, you know, having that basis to work off is very, very helpful. But also, like, it can feel very overwhelming when you kind of look at all of the things which went wrong in a game, and against a team like SJC, it's pretty easy to see the things which went wrong. There it is, KZ just getting the cross goal, first goal of this game at least. But yeah, like, if you're able to sort of knuckle down and focus on one individual thing, and, you know, if it is working on positioning and really making that solid, or if it's sort of saying, yeah, well, our positioning, our ability to be in the right spot in the field's good, we need to work on passing, coordination, shots, awareness, not triple committing on kickoff, whatever it is, like...
that was intentional.
Okay, yeah, probably. But, like, you know, if there's something in particular they pick out which they go, yeah, I want to work on that, you can kind of just put the rest of it in, like, the cupboard and be like, look, we'll leave that there until we get to it. Right now we're working on X and Y skills. That's it. And that breaking that down makes it a lot easier.
Well, right now I feel like, unfortunately, the composure is starting to break down from the SJC side. You can see all 3 of them kind of grouped up in that corner. But if I were to hone in on one area in particular for SJC where I'd like to see them work on and improve, knowing when to attack the ball. More so on that first goal than on the second goal, there was a situation where they were just kind of playing passive, waiting for the ball to come to them, and no one was putting any real pressure on the attackers, and you can kind of see it again right here. They just play so far back, it feels like right now. They're not really trying to disrupt the GSLC side in any meaningful fashion at this stage, and it's allowing GSLC to sort of approach at their own pace from their own angle, and it's leading to relatively easy shots right now. So I've been liking the rotations, but they just haven't had that killer instinct to attack the ball, and I feel like they did earlier in the series, but it was a couple misses, a couple whiffs that may have hurt their confidence, and now at this stage the result has been let's fall back, let's play a bit more defensively. And that's kind of given up the series, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you're looking at the clock going, we have still 3 minutes 30 seconds left of this, guys. What do we do? There's no way we're coming back from it. And that's like, that means even just having that thought run through your mind will make you play worse. And it's not like this is their big qualifier for finals or anything, you know, or their like RLCS debut or whatnot. It's like, it is one high school league series against a team who's clearly got some confidence behind them. So, you know, fair enough that you're sitting there being like, God, what is happening? But hopefully it doesn't overwhelm them too much. You know, hopefully that sort of like that little level of, oh my God, this game has been going very one-sided, and you know they can kind of put that out of their mind and look at those those strengths you were just talking about in terms of some of that pressure and develop that killer instinct, as you said, which is a phrase which I quite like. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It's something I noticed, again, been watching a lot of EU RLCS recently, hence that reference to it before, and it's something I've noticed because, not just, I suppose, in EU RLCS, like, I would say in OCE, but, like, OCE has always had that killer instinct. That's kind of been one of the reasons why I love Oceanic Rocket League so much. But EU, not every team does that. And I've noticed more and more, particularly in recent months, that the teams that have been more willing to commit and sometimes make poor decisions, poor commits just for the sake of keeping that pressure and almost kind of playing that mental game, they're the teams that have been having that more consistent success. So if I were to kind of define the Rocket League meta right now, I would say it's that aggressive style. And if you want to watch an OCE team because you don't want to watch EU, I recommend watching the KC Pioneers, right? Yeah, Kansas City, OCE, whatever. They're the team that I would recommend watching right now because they kind of are the benchmark for how to play that style in Oceania. So I kind of recommend a lot of these high school teams, if they're unsure what sort of style to adopt, go watch that team. And remember, when you watch them, they're your age as well. Like, it's a team of 15 and 16-year-olds. They're now representing our entire region in LA at this next upcoming major because of the play style that they developed, because they were able to find success with it. So it's definitely doable. It's this sort of fearless, aggressive style. And you're going to hear me preaching a fair bit about it throughout the season, I feel like, because the more teams that I see adapt it, I think the more teams are going to be successful with it. And in my pure belief, that's the meta we should be looking towards.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I think it transcends more than just Rocket League. If you're not sort of throwing yourself aggressively into your plays, then you're just not going to have that same likelihood of making them come off. And you know, if you do throw yourself aggressively to play, if you are like just going for it and being like, this is the play I'm going to make, I'm just going for it, I'm going to attack the ball, you're going to mess up sometimes in the occasional game, sure, but you're going to get a better sense of when you can get that aggression going. And it's not even like the immediate aggression sense, but like, yeah, the more you throw yourself, the more you limit test, to use that that phrase which a lot of people hate, but I think it's very true. The more you limit test, the more you know how aggressive you can go, and therefore the more aggressive you can go. So you kind of have to start doing it to be able to keep doing it, if that makes sense. And often it's just a decision, a mentality decision you have to set a switch on.
Especially if you're coming into a matchup feeling like the underdog, right? It's almost that fearless mentality that I love to see. Now, one of the reasons why it works for the Pioneers so well, and it's why I need to put in asterisks to things, mechanically they are unreal. They have put in so much effort, so much practice, so much training in their in-game mechanics that more often than not, when they go for these crazy challenges, they're going to find a way to pull it off and then do something special with the play after. And right now, I'm watching GSLC Gold, and I'm not going to compare their mechanics to KC, but I am seeing, you know, strong mechanics there. Like, they're not making a lot of mistakes. More often than not, they're making contact with the ball. They're now looking for fakes and bumps, so, like, they're clearly in control of this series at this stage. practicing your mechanics is key if you want to get that aggressive style. It's something that, because if you're going to take that approach, you cannot afford to make a misstep. You cannot afford to make that mistake because every single time you will get punished for it. But when you start to pull it off, my goodness, does your team look unbeatable.
Yeah, but like I'd argue that those two things play into each other as well. Like if you don't make the big mechanical plays until you go for the big mechanical plays. Until you start making those like really almost low percentage big mechanical plays, you're never going to hit them. And if you
That's
do
why
start
I'd say
doing
hit
them,
the practice tool though to raise that low percentage up. And it goes back to the point I was making at the start of this broadcast. This is the start of the journey, and I'm expecting these teams to practice. I'm expecting these players, to go out there, look to improve their skill, just like you would in a traditional sport. You have rugby practice, you should have Rocket League practice as well. You know what I mean? So
100%.
It's going to be curious to see where we come from here.
Yeah, exactly. And like Rocket League practice is easier in a lot of ways than rugby practice because there's less equipment, less stuff you need. As long as you got yourself a computer somewhere, or you like high school has a computer. Spoilers for other events which are gonna be coming up soon. Very excited for that as well. But yeah, like as long as somehow, some way you have a setup like this, which most people do, I think. Like most either high schools or or people or families in general do. You can kind of just go, all right, squad, here's a login time, here's a training time, don't be late, let's go.
And I would preface this as well. Physical activity should be included in Rocket League practice. Like, Rocket League practice isn't just sitting in front of the computer and playing the game nonstop. No, going out, getting a bit of outside exercise or even indoor exercise, but getting that blood pumping, getting your body moving ahead of time will improve your reflexes, will improve your game as you get into this. And again, it goes back to that point about finding the balance throughout everything you're trying to do. So, yeah, include physical exercise in your Rocket League training. A 12-0 game, by the way. Sorry we haven't been talking about this one too much. I kind of feel like the play speaks for itself.
Yeah, exactly. And we've said a lot of things in the last couple of games, which have pretty well covered the points, I think, in here. There's been some, hey, that's a cool mechanical play, or a bit of a mistake, from whatever. Sort of the same points we've been making. But yeah, 12-0 scoreline is absolutely massive. And yeah, certainly GCLC are not playing that passive we've got a lead, let's just sit with it, like they did in the first game. They're trying to set world records.
That was so close to being a proper must. You can see Zon looking for it, but was a bit early. And actually, to be fair, I think that was just more an air roll to sort of correct themselves. I wanted it to be the musty, though. In my mind, Zon was thinking musty. I don't think that's actually what they were looking for, though.
I mean, yeah, let's go with it. Let's just, we don't know what the players are thinking. Let's just assume the best. And at this point, that is that we've got young, budding, up-and-coming freestylers in our high school.
I haven't done a freestyle event in so long. I need to get back into it. There are people. Yeah, I need to get back on that freestyle stand. I miss it.
Is that a call out to AEL to be like, hey, next season?
I think not just to AEL, all right? We'll call out AEL a little bit, but I want to call out all TOs, like from everything from, me and my friends are doing a little community tournament all the way up to RLCS, freestyle show matches before the finals. Like, how great of a segue, you just had your loser bracket final or your last semifinal. Everyone's getting ready, but it's kind of like that halftime show before you go into it. You bring out the freestylers, they show off for like 10, 15 minutes, and then you go into that grand final event. I reckon that's where it's at.
That sounds good. There's been discussion about like halftime shows and other events and other sports and things like that, and I reckon Rocket League needs something similar. But we are going to be right back with our next matchup. Congratulations, of course, for GSLC. Got to be pretty close to setting a winning margin record in AEL across
it's got to be
board.
up there.
It's got to be up there.
The benchmark's been set for the season. 14-0.
Yes, 14 goal lead. But we are going to have to take a quick break while we set up our next match. I'm sure we'll be back with you very shortly indeed.
At Acer, we're focused on bringing our expertise in esports to schools across the country. Hi, I'm Rob Corkill, Marketing Communications Manager at Acer Australia. We are very excited to welcome you to our 2022 Acer High Schools Cup. Remember, teamwork and communications is the key to winning. So if you're ready to bring home the Acer High School Cup trophies, be prepared to work with your team and make sure you're the ultimate team player. Good luck and have fun.
Welcome back. We have our second series of the day. It is going to be the Knights versus the Barracudas, which are such cool team names that I kind of had to just say those. But yeah, formal. I believe we're pretty well ready to get into the game.
Yeah, we're going to be kicking off, I feel like, any minute right now, as it's going to be the Knights versus the Barracudas. And I was just thinking about it. Not very hard, but, you know, I'll take it through my mind. It's always, we've gone the traditional blue versus orange. And a lot of times that's because players are more comfortable in it. I'm going to propose to teams, and this is if you're out there watching and listening, and I'm going to start asking the questions before we go into this, if they want to rep their school team colors in the future on the pitch itself. So we'll see if we do that. I don't know. Might have an ask around. It might say traditional blue and orange, but I've been watching more and more leagues and participating in some as well where they have started to embrace that color change. And I hope that's something we do get to see more and more of in the future, because I always think it's fun when a team really has that identity, especially in a matchup like this one where the Knights are the team in blue and the Barracudas are in orange. If anything, I feel like that should almost be the other way around.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, maybe, like, you know, you always kind of need, like, a silver for the Knights and a blue for the... Yeah, I don't mind it. I dislike, I will say, when the teams will randomly, like, change colors on you. They'll just be like, yeah, whatever, I'm, you know, silver now. And you're like, okay, cool. But premeditated.
Premeditated. Because I know it was with a EU. Again, EU. It's an EU league that I've been covering where, like, all the teams have, like, their own color, but they have like a home and away color as well in case, you know, there's two that are the same coming into it. And you get some horrible, ugly matchups like, woo, that neon green versus that dark pink matchup, and it's disgusting looking, and I love it. Either way, we're heading to the pitch right now. On the blue side, it is the DLS Knights, Fuzzy Fua, Pat, and Warpasaur. For the BDC Barracudas, it's Haxa, Maximal Zoo, and Spicy Politics.
Spicy Politics 8, don't disrespect. Warpasaur has Warpasaur. Yeah,
Warpasaur.
Yeah, that's one which was really a real struggle for me for some reason. They opened up very quickly.
That's our own goal, by the way. We can put one on the count.
No one saw it. It was technically I had the teams open, so no one actually saw who scored it. So we can.
There you go. You're bailed out of this one. No one will know that ball came off Maximal Zoo. As we continue along right now, Spicy Politics gonna look to play off that backboard. Does have Zoo underneath, but Pat will keep it held up high back across that middle of the pitch. Oh, triple commit. That normally gets punished, but Warpasaur can't find the angle.
I did like the attempt on the reset as well. Like, this is what we were saying last game, where it's just like, you gotta go for big plays, otherwise you're never ever gonna make them. And yeah, straight away, we see a reset, like, less than a minute into the game. That's good. Or an attempt at a reset, like, a minute into the game. That's good. That's what I want to see from these high school players.
Yeah, exactly that. And again, going for plays, going for challenges, and even though that triple commit was a little bit awkward, they don't get punished for it. That time, though, they should have. The net so open, but Fuzzy Fua pulling off an OCE special and putting the open net up high.
I was about to say, did you have own goal in your bingo? Did you have missing an open net on your bingo? Because we're racking those up. Oh, no.
No, not gonna go in either.
Rocket League is like a delicate dance formal. This is I wish I knew more about dances, because I'd have something in there, but...
I have never seen a triple commit going backwards like that before in front of your own net. That was a first. Thank you very much, DLS Knights. Had any of you actually hit the ball, it would have been our second own goal of the series.
Yeah, that's very true. Little unfortunate there. The scoreline still is 1-0 at this point.
Yeah, it is. As things do seem to be coming down a little bit more. You know what? I will say this. These teams, they've had a couple uh-oh moments, but they're also playing a little bit more aggressive, and it goes back to the point we were making last series. They're pushing their comfort zones. You can tell they're challenging a lot more, and the result is sloppy-looking play, but this is the type of play that gets cleaned up as we go. No! How does Spicy Politics not get there? Another heartbreaking opportunity lost.
Yeah, but, yeah, okay, never mind. I was going to say, it's been going back and forth at least, but Fuzzy Fuha puts an end to the shenanigans and says, alright, we're just going to score a goal, friends. We're just going to do it. 2-0 lead right now for De La Salle, and, yeah, they're looking pretty well on track to take it, but again, the fact that there's been so many small whiffs means I don't feel like we can make those big statements we usually make about, yes, this team is so in control. It's a bit harder to make those.
No one's behind the driving wheel right now, and hopefully someone does jump in that driver's seat soon. As Fuzzy Fuha backwards pass, Pat just completely cleans up his teammate, and it's another open net miss.
Pat got a strike, and Bishop Druitt College got a spare. Not a spare, I got a ball. God damn it, I haven't been bowling in too long. It's been too many years, friends. That was almost a very nice touch, though, Pat.
That was so... What sport do you not play?
Curling, which is a shame, because I love curling.
Oh, curling sounds fun, actually. But yeah, cool. It's kind of hard to do curling in Australia, I'll give you that one.
There's actually no curling rinks. Oh! Oh, no!
Maximal Zoo is our goal leader in this game right now.
Shush now.
That was a nice reset, actually, from Pat to set that one up.
Yeah, Pat's been getting nice with the plays. Some of Pat's plays have been really, really cool. It's just, unfortunately, then there'll be a really big, obvious whiff right after it.
Or, you know, completely clearing out his own defense.
Yep.
There's that, too. But, yeah, so, look, these are my favorite types of games. I mean, you have no idea what's going to happen next right now. And again, these are all new names, I feel like, that we haven't seen on stream before. Fuzzyola is a similar name, but that's not Fuzzyola. That's Fuzzy Fuha, so it's a different player. And I imagine being on a stream sometimes, there is a bit of nerve. Sometimes you might have those jitters, might make a mistake or two. I like how Maximal Zoo, though, is staying with the play, still trying to be the fastest player on the team, still trying to make plays happen for the side of BDC, and I do appreciate that. So hopefully, as the series progresses, players will calm down. We'll see less of these mistakes as Pat does find Warpasaur. Good save by Maximal Zoo.
Yeah, that was really, really good stuff. And like I always say it's probably getting almost cliche at this point, but whiffs are contagious. You know, once one person misses an open goal, it's just a mess after that. Floodgates are open. Warpasaur finding another one as well, trying to contest that goal leader, position we were talking about.
This was the first clean goal, I think, that we saw coming from either team realistically, but yeah, just a nice pass across the middle. Haxa, I think, lost where Warpasaur was and kind of slowed down, expecting the shot to come from the wall instead of across the middle of the pitch, and that's why pass plays are so dangerous. You can sometimes confuse defenders, as that one just went the distance right there. Fetch 5-0 lead.
Yeah, Warpasaur just got a good shot, and I think the third player who would normally defend that went for a demo. I don't know, though. I'd have to double check the tapes. But I can say it now and you know, feel relatively confident about it. But
I saw what actually happened, and it wasn't that the third defender went for a demo. It went for the same boost as the second defender.
Oh, no. Okay, well, that's a little less dignity in that one. But again, this is our shenanigan game, all right? We put all our shenanigans into one game. We wrap it up. We put it aside, and the second game is much better. I believe it. I have faith.
Is it wrong if I want more shenanigans?
No, it's not. But I think for the I think for the players' sake, I don't know.
Well, no, I want the shenanigans to help out BDC in the next game, right?
Ooh,
to even it out, you know.
Yeah.
Granted, they've had their opportunities from shenanigans in this one. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to capitalize. Maximal Zoo has stopped moving, and there's the WoW spam. So, yeah. I feel the mental might have gone boom for game number one. Not sure what happened right there. Not a promising sign, though, as we look ahead towards game number two.
yeah, it's a little bit like that. I also appreciate that one of the BDC players has a Barracuda on their top of their car. That's neat. Toppers look ugly 90% of the time, but that's an exception. You wanted to see team colors? Team mascot's pretty good, too.
I mean, it's close to a Barracuda. You know what? We'll count it as a Barracuda to go with the team name.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get nitpicky on that. They got a fish. Close enough. But yeah, so game number one. pretty strongly in favor of the DLS Knights, but it was one of those weird games where it felt like it was close until the Barracudas almost I don't want to say gave up, but it's kind of hard not to when a player just stops moving and starts spamming the WoW chat. I hope to see that bounce back right now, because that resiliency is such an important thing for long-term seasons like this and your long-term goals and that growth that you have to find. You need to find a way to overcome those down moments, and you have to remember that was only game one. It was a sloppy game one from both sides. There's still plenty of space to come back, as kicking off this next game, Isaacsa, a little bit slow to move off the kickoff, but it still actually went in the favor of the Barracudas.
Yeah, that it did. But, you know, that's a mental reset. No one in goal right at the moment. He's going to make that cross out of the corner save, but yeah, it's not quite happening.
As we see only 2 players now playing on the Knights side, as it looks like there was a little bit of an issue where a player got disconnected. I'm not too sure, but in the 2v3, we see the Knights get a goal on board relatively easily. And I'm still going to have a little bit of concerns for the Barracudas side. They might have a chance right here, though. Spicy Politics from underneath can't turn it into a shot.
Yeah, and Pat's going for another one of those big aerial plays. Actually gets it past both defenders as well. The angles were awkward, but it was a little bit of an unfortunate sort of double position. Double miss position, I think.
This is still my favorite goal explosion.
It is incredibly cool.
Anything with space is going to get like the thumbs up for me. I'm sorry. I don't know why, because I don't even really like have that space fascination. Like, I'm not one of the people stargazing all the time or like looking up constellations, but any sort of spacey aesthetic, I just always fall in love with.
It's very like, yeah, there is that sort of instinctual like, yeah, it's just cool, especially when it's done well.
Oh!
Opportunity,
No!
almost the side post. What a traitor.
I mean, it was off a defender right there. I'm going to call that a save coming out of Warpasaur, as middle of the pitch left very open. Nyhaza tries to get the ball to the backboard, but we'll see if Warpasaur will be able to clear it out from their Spicy Politics. Oh, stuck at no man's land. Maximal Zoo plays it over the top. No one in the middle. Ihaxa playing goalkeeper at the opposite end. And Fetch, I've had this rant enough. I'll let you take it this time.
I don't know. I don't wanna.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, I had you on that one, but like, that is bold territory to step into. I'm just saying.
All right, well, I'll jump in and say this then, as we watch Pat put another one through. If you are playing goalkeeper while your team is on the attack, you're essentially playing a man down right now. There's no reason why you can't move to that midpoint of the field, as it is so unlikely that you are going to get an accurate, fast touch that you cannot react to when the ball is coming off your opponent's backboard. So play it forward. Allow yourself that chance to be that third member, to press it up and find that opening goal. When you're sitting back and playing goalkeeper, you're conceding the entire middle of the field. And if we go back to that EU Rocket League style I was talking about before, when you see the fast passes, they happen when a team can take advantage of that openness across the middle of the field. And by playing dedicated goalkeeper, all you're doing is conceding that to your opponents.
Yeah. See, that is absolutely it. I'm terrified midfield positioning. It is the scariest thing to me. So I'm like, whenever I have to think about that one, I'm always like, but good news, it's a 3v3 now. It may still be 4-0 to the team who was a player down, but it's now a 3v3. So you know, I'm sure we're gonna see Bishop Druitt try and put in just a little bit extra effort now. They can stop sandbagging these last few goals. Now it's the 3v3. I don't feel bad anymore.
Pat going for the double touch, doesn't get it. Warpasaur too delicate on the touch, so Ihasta going to make a very nice diving save to help clear that one out. Spicy Politics stays with the play, doesn't follow through on the bump though, and I'm a little bit surprised by that because Maximal Zoo was waiting just outside the box, and that's why I always say follow through on your corner commits. Always look for that bump, always look for that demo, because if the ball finds its way in a teammate's hand, what an angle! Not quite in for the own goal.
That was a weird one. I wasn't quite entirely sure how that one managed to get put in that sort of an angle, but you know, at the end of the day, it is our orange team keeping it alive for a little bit longer. But it's exactly what you said in the last game. If the ball doesn't matter if you touch the ball. Last series, I should say. Doesn't matter if you touch the ball, if it's just going to bounce straight up in front of your goals with a bit of almost with a backspin, you know, kind of effect. Just sits there very nicely for the blue team to just smack on in.
I think Maximal Zoo thought they had a teammate behind them in the box ready to just smash it through the middle of the pitch. Either that or it was an errant touch. One of the two in those types of situations, but the end result was a very opportune moment. Whoa! That was a dangerous shot as well, but this could actually come back the other way. iHaxa has a chance, leaves it for Spicy Politician, gets the touch on it, but couldn't find the bump, couldn't find a clear angle, and in the end, no goal scored.
Yeah, but it's, you know, it is starting to be that big scoreline from the side of DLS Knights, as Warpasaur just puts another one in. Okay, Warpasaur 7 shots in that last game. I think the next best was like 2, maybe?
It was one.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, but I thought there might have been an extra one from BDC.
Well, there was 2 other shots because both Pat and Fuzzy Fuha each had one. You put them together.
I thought BDC might have had 2. They
yeah,
didn't
sorry.
connect to them.
Yeah, I think they did actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that is correct.
But anyway, yeah, like the point is that they were just taking control of this game, and it really does seem like Warpasaur. I'd be interested to see what happens when they have a bit more kind of competition up against them, because this game has quickly devolved to memes. I think it's fair to say there has been some interesting stuff going on. Shenanigans. That's it. That's a much better word. Yeah, it's been a shenanigan game, very much so. Yeah. But
Utopia Coliseum.
That's
all I'm gonna say.
I think last time we had Utopia Coliseum wasn't a buggy ditto. Like both sides were running the scarabs.
Yes.
Yes. So it is the map. It brings it out in people. I love it for it.
I love it. It's my favorite competitive map for that reason, because all the weird games always happen on Utopia. I don't know why. It just happens to feel that way sometimes. As we watch Warpasaur take that shot, will come off of the backboard. Pat will be there. Oh, can't quite put that one in though. And with 1 minute remaining in game number 2, it will be another victory going to the Knights. In fact, another goal as well for Warpasaur. 7th shot of this game, 5th goal as well. DLS Knights. This is another team that historically has had success in this event, so not surprising to see them doing quite well. At least the school has had success in the past, and I'm curious to see how far they're going to make it this season. It's kind of similar to our first series, though. It's really hard to get a good read on this team until they go up against a couple of the other favorites in the event.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with the Warpasaur point, because I'd be interested to know who on this team do you think is the best player? Warpasaur, Pat, or Fuzzy Fruha? Because it's easy to say Pat, because some of the stuff Pat's been doing has been really great. It's easy to say Warpasaur because of that scoreline, but I really don't know, and it's something I'd very much be interested in seeing when they do go up against those other teams and sort of compete a bit more against the other players in their group. Because I don't know if I'd feel confident putting my money either way at the moment.
No, I wouldn't either. I think the team is set up for Warpasaur to succeed a lot, but so much of that is coming from Pat. And I guess this is where my own personal bias in terms of how the type of Rocket League I like to see comes into play. I would value a player playing Pat style over a player playing Warpasaur style if I were to build a team, just because I feel the setup is the most underappreciated role on a team. But then I see Warpasaur try to attempt shots like that. Had that gone through, we'll see. But I also feel Spicy Politics is doing quite well for themselves as well, because admittedly they've been a little bit more on the ball following side of the team, yet more often than not they are getting touches on the play, so credit in that regards. There's good players all over the place. It's just whether or not we get to see them sync up together, I suppose.
Yeah, that's fair. And again, by nature of any sort of competition similar to this, any sort of university or high school kind of competition, you do tend to get just a mix of players banded together. Like, sure, they're friends and things like that, but it is still something which, it's not a team built from the ground up. That's not really how it's done. So I think I'd be interested to see how these players would go in sort of more pre-structured teams and things like that. It's almost a bit of a different discussion.
It is. Well, I mean, eventually these will be those pre-structured teams, right? Eventually things will come together as, Spicy Politics has just switched teams briefly. Not sure what that was all about. Now back on the right side on the Barracudas team. Look, I understand trying to, turncoat sometimes after you go an entire game without finding a single shot, but unfortunately, that's not how this works.
Yeah, you're right. It is a little unfortunate, but hey, a point for trying, I guess. Might have also been trying to steal strats as well. That's the other thing. Maximal Zooms put the ball up in a very good position. Spicy Politics. Actually, no, it's Haz who tries to play for it but doesn't quite get it.
So, I was watching a documentary the other day, kind of, not really a documentary, it was like one of the sports shows. It was, and you might get this one, I'm not sure how much of our audience will, but do you know the tuck rule in the NFL?
Yes.
Or rather, the tuck rule play, the infamous one?
Oh, not this specific play, no.
Okay, so it all started, it was, I think, the 2000 season playoffs, where Raiders versus Patriots, first goal to Fuzzy Fuha. Patriots versus Raiders. Tom Brady does a fake pass and is clearly pulling the ball back to his body when Charles Woodson on the Raiders hits him from behind, forces what looked to be a fumble. Raiders recover, should have won the game. However, at the time, there wasn't really the tuck rule in play, or it was called the tuck rule, so it wasn't called a fumble. And because Tom Brady did the arm throwing motion before bringing the ball back, they ruled it an incomplete pass. That's less relevant for the story, but a little bit of NFL history for you. But what I'm trying to get at, the whole reason why they were able to kind of force that play was because a player on the Raiders side kind of went unnoticed after the previous play and was just standing on the Patriots bench and overheard the play they were calling. So he went back into the huddle, was like, hey guys, they're going to do this. And the Raiders then set up the perfect defense for it, Warpasaur 2-0.
That's hilarious, actually. That's brilliant. I mean, there's no team chat in this game that I know of. You just chuck yourself on Discord, but that would be very funny. I think that would be an entertaining thing. There used to be an ability like that in Call of Duty where you could hear the other team's like team chat. That was like a perk. You could spend your like your class building points on a perk. Oh, spicy! No!
Oh. I feel for that one.
Yeah.
But also that sounds like the most overpowered perk in like any sort of competitive game I can possibly imagine.
No one used voice chat to communicate. It was just derogatory commentary. It's Call of Duty stuff. So it's like, why would you ever use this? Like in a game like Counter-Strike, OP. In a game like Call of Duty, absolutely useless.
Oh no!
It's fine, it's alive, it's alive. Yeah, it's alright. Fuzzy Fuha almost had a very nice angle and the save was great.
Yeah, Maximal Zoo. He even put that ball, or they, I should say, even put that ball in a very safe spot, so super well done by Maximal Zoo right there. I would love that perk in, oh, that was almost a goal as well from Pat. In other games, like, I don't know. Oh, that's a pinch, that's a shot, that's off the post. Warpasaur misses! So does Spicy Politics, and now Warpasaur puts it back in safe. Okay, this game's gone back to Shenanigansville right now, I feel like.
At least it's like a higher class of shenanigans, you know? We got the tier 2 shenanigans last time, we're getting the tier 1. Yeah, Spice Politics, alright, I was a bit worried about that play. I know it seems silly, but with how this series has been going.
That's a goal.
Whoops.
Straight across the middle of the field right there. Spicy Politics and Minimal Zoo, they were trying to play more the corridor. Left the net open, and I believe Maximal Zoo had the boost stolen away by Spicy Politics, so just didn't have the speed to rotate back in time. Very awkward. 3-0 lead. Okay, I'm just going to put this out there as a fun. It could be a lot of fun, but because, Nocturne main, League of Legends, I think that his passive on his ultimate should include not only do you silence your enemies, but then you get to hear their comms as well.
Ooh, I think proximity chat cross team in League of Legends would be really cool if it was like in a tournament where people are being monitored, I think that'd be great.
I reckon that would be so hard to pull off. Ball off the post, not quite in. I think proximity chat would be more fun in games like CSGO.
True.
Or AEL themed World of Tanks.
Ooh, World of Tanks. That's a weird one though, because you actually have like radio distance
proximity
and stuff
map.
like that.
Yeah,
exactly. So you could implement something like that and have to like relay information up the chain of command to be like, our shot caller's gonna
so good.
That would be sick. Actually, you're onto something here, I think.
That would be so good. I'd love to see that. I don't know AEL what you could do about that one, but if you could somehow find a way to like proximity chat teams. But yeah, of course, World of Tanks, another one of AEL's amazing games being played here in this season and this year. Alongside what else? I saw Smash being played again as well. You got your Dota, which we should have been talking about instead of League probably. Maximal Zoo gonna throw down Spicy Politics, and there, no! That was gonna be the goal, but it's off the post again.
Yep. Yeah, it's just Shenanigans Central at this point, it's how it is. Okay, can you imagine with Dota, because you can clone your characters, right? That's like a
Oh,
big
no.
feature. You just have like this massive echo whenever someone clones their characters. You get like 10 clones going. There's just this awful racket happening.
Oh, that would be
Quality.
horrifying. Either way, that's going to do it for this game-in series. The DSL Knights, they hold on 3-0. They survive the chaos and look quite calm in doing it. Also, I'm going to put this out there right now. Pat supporting Dignitas. Again, I might always want to rep our OCE teams, but if I'm going to pick a winner for this next LAN, I think Pat's onto something.
Yeah, I look. You're the expert on that sort of stuff. My knowledge of like international play and things like that is awful in any esport. It doesn't matter. Like I just
I roll dice these days because I've given up with predictions.
I've heard top level analysts say that that's the strat. That you like put in, if there's like one team who's been super dominant historically, you put them in like your top 2, and then like you just roll the dice or let your pet decide. I think that's the classic, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, well, the problem is my pet is a cat who sometimes likes to, go for a jump in the shower or something and then realize, oh no, I hate water, and then run around the house screaming. So,
I have friends like that, like human friends like that. So that's all right. This is too many shenanigans. Too many shenanigans so far. Though that was See, I told you, shenanigans are contagious. That's the rule.
They are,
right?
They are. They got to us.
It did
That
all the way
series.
through the wires, all the way to us.
Well, you know what? I do think, though, fortunately or unfortunately, we did only have 2 games for you today. 2 3-0 sweeps, but it's still the start of the season. The competitive games will be coming through as we move along. One last time real quick, though, I do want to thank our sponsors once again for this event. Of course, our presenting partner, Acer/Predator Gaming, our education partner, moneymanage.gov.au, our education partner, ViewSonic, our gaming monitor partner, AOC, and our gaming headset partner, RIG Gaming.
Yeah, thank you to all of them. They're all great sponsors, all great products. Really thankful that we have, kind of all of those lined up. I think that they're all like pretty reliable. There's, like sometimes you see a stream sponsored by someone, and you're like, oh, I wouldn't trust that sponsor. I'm surprised that they got, that they agreed to do that deal. But I'm actually really happy with our sponsors. I think that I'd be happy with picking up any of their gear. So, wow,
Yeah.
What's going on here, buddy? I don't know about this.
I think it's time to sign off. It
It is absolutely time to sign off.
I think we've rambled long
We've
enough.
destroyed our audience quite a bit. But that's our first stream back. It's only going to get more competitive and more serious and more intense from here on out. Thank you so much for joining us today. More events as we go. Follow, of course, our Twitters below, and of course AEL's Twitter as well. See all the other events. We'll catch you all